everyone. Welcome to episode 8 of Gens Before Friends. I'm Mockingbird, and I'm here with Morbid Plum
Hi.
and Queen Amgie.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. And today we're going to be talking about the PTB for the next chapter, which is going to be Alien.
hmm
Woo! A licensed chapter.
I know. Excited.
Woo
Same.
woo. Very exciting. So, we are going to go over what was in the PTB. Since this was PTB, obviously stuff can change before it hits live, but I think all the basic powers of the xenomorph will be the same. So let's start out with the xenomorph, and there is actually quite a bit. His power there's some different parts to it. First part is hidden pursuit, and this is when you have the xenomorph in the trial, there is a series of tunnels available to it that it can access from the control stations. And the auras of the control stations are highlighted for the xenomorph at all times. And so they continue with this, talking about the tunnels as the special locomotion for the xenomorph. So when the xenomorph walks up to a control station, the xenomorph can enter the tunnel system located beneath the map and use it to quickly traverse and emerge from another control station. And while in the tunnel, the xenomorph can detect the movement of survivors within 16 meters of its location, and it's indicated on the roof of the tunnel by little red
hmm
footsteps.
It's really cute, actually.
It is. I was like, what is this? And being inside the tunnel also accelerates the cooldown timer for runner mode, which is the next power we'll talk about in a second. Exiting the tunnels from the control station will momentarily deactivate any deployed remote flame turrets, and it'll tag any survivors within 12 meters of the control station with killer instinct. The tunnels will be on every map.
hmm
So I think they put a lot of work into doing that for all the maps.
It's really cool because you can move anywhere. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like you actually are in the tunnel
Yes.
system, which
So
they haven't done with killers before.
yeah, so it's different
Yeah.
from like Demogorgon, where he places the portals. Like you walk in the tunnels and you control it, and you can stay in the tunnel as long as you want. And you can actually highlight like a tunnel you want to go to. So you can mark like a path. If you're like, I want to go to that control station across the map, you can actually tag it, but you don't have to stay on that path if you decide to go somewhere else. But it does help you like navigate where you want to go. So, next special ability is runner mode. The xenomorph automatically will enter runner mode whenever it's not on cooldown. In runner mode, the xenomorph walks on all four legs, becomes stealthier, reducing its terror radius to 24 meters. The xenomorph cannot exit this mode on its own. It has to be forced out of it by survivors using the flame turrets. And I think he also gets out of it, I'll have to check, when he hooks survivors.
That would make sense.
So, but basically the turrets. Also,
Yay.
also special attack. He has a tail attack.
It's
When he's
crazy
in
cool.
when he's in runner mode, the xenomorph can access his brutal tail attack, which has an increased reach of 4.8 meters. So basically, he can like whip it out in front of him. It's kind of like a straight line. So not quite like a whip, but like more straight. I have seen people try to like do a side swipe with it if you turn your camera, but basically the idea is you hit like straight over the head of the xenomorph with the tail. Next thing we have from the notes is the control stations. So when you have the xenomorph, the trial will spawn 7 control stations. So, and the xenomorph, like I said before, can highlight any control station, highlight it in red, and mark it and turn its aura yellow. So that's what makes the yellow trail in the tunnels for it to know where to go. Now, survivors can also interact with the control station to receive a remote flame turret. But control stations have a cooldown of 30 seconds before another turret can be retrieved from the same station. And given that there's still turrets left in the pool, so survivors only get 4. I'm jumping ahead because the next part is the flame turrets. So they get 4, survivors get 4 flame turrets total, and that's it. So, and I noticed like when you're at a control station, it'll have a number So it will
Mm-hmm.
tell you how many are left. And so, also, why a survivor is carrying the turret, they suffer from a 35% hindered effect. So you're super slow. You're also exhausted and you're incapacitated. So basically, all you can do is carry the turret. But you are immune to being detected by the xenomorph when roaming around down in the tunnels if you're carrying the turret. So, and when the xenomorph enters the turret's firing radius and is line of sight of it, the turret will attack and it throws flames at the xenomorph. And this makes the xenomorph have a stagger effect, it extends the exposure to stun, and it causes, if he stays in it, runner mode will end. And if a turret is successfully knocks the xenomorph out of runner mode or fires too long, it will overheat and break, but survivors can repair the turret. Also, if a survivor drops the turret from their inventory, it will be destroyed automatically after being left on the ground for 30 seconds. The timer is paused if a survivor remains within 6 meters of the drop location. And of course, the xenomorph can destroy turrets with an M1 or his tail attack. And destroyed turrets will return to the pool after 45 seconds. So that's kind of the overall power. What do y'all think of the power in the tunnels and everything?
I think it's pretty cool. I like that the tunnels, it wasn't just like the Demogorgon where you select where you want to go and it's like kind of like that whoosh animation of movement,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actual physical tunnels that look like the alien spaceship that is in the movie, which is cool. The control stations are cool as well because when you pull out the little suitcase, and I just recently watched Alien with Boyfriend, so I had never seen it before, and I was like, I'm gonna watch it in preparation for the Alien chapter. But the little suitcase, and you make the turret reminds me of the kind of case contraption they use in the movie to try to detect the alien. So I
Mm.
wonder if that's kind of where they got the concept from. And of course, like the turrets, isn't there just a really awesome moment? Like in one of the movies, I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember being in the first one where Ripley fires
Maybe it's in the second
fire
one.
at. I think it's in the second one.
But remember, okay,
Uh,
remember when they announced this and like we're in
yeah,
Discord and like I put the gif of like Ripley with the flamethrower. I was like, wouldn't
yeah,
this be
Yeah.
great
Discord.
if we got a flamethrower? And look what we got.
We did.
We got
And
flamethrowers.
it's a lot of fun to set up traps, especially if you do it in one area where the alien teleports to. I was
Yeah.
driving them crazy in the PTB,
Yeah.
setting up like these corners on the map, and they were just everywhere they turned, there was just a flame turret. And you can bring them to the doors as well as a second line of defense to help
Mm-hmm.
you get
Mhm.
out. And in some of the PTB matches we played, that helped us get the door open because the alien got stunned, and then we were able to finish getting the door open and get everyone out safely. So overall, I think the xenomorph is pretty cool. His tail too, how far it can reach. He can go over pallets, can go over windows. It has a very long reach.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of the tentacle of what's his name? Somebody help me. My mind went blank.
Nemesis?
Nemesis.
Nemesis?
But I don't think you're going to be able to dodge it kind of like you can. You know, you can do the crouch. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
you can do the crouch to get away from it. So it'd be interesting. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
That was something we didn't try. I know we tried like getting in front of each other to see how far it went, and it goes
Mhm.
pretty far. So I guess we'll have to see if it's
Also,
easy to dodge.
also, if you get right up in the alien's face, it will it tend to the I'm sorry, the tail cannot hit you because we did
Yeah, we
that.
noticed
Remember,
that
Christine?
too. Like
Not
the closer you got, like it was harder to actually hit the survivor. So maybe just run up next to the killer and just hang
run
Put
up
some
out.
and crouch.
FOV text.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like you can do that with Plague and her corrupt purge stuff. If you
Purge,
like
yeah.
crouch down in front, like yeah, FOV tech maybe.
It goes over her.
So
Yeah.
yeah, more stuff to test out.
But yeah, it was pretty fun playing the alien on PTB, and I think the tunnels are cool. So that one, I think that's a kind of cool add-on that they kept as far as staying maybe not true to the movie, but borrowing little things here and there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here I'm gonna throw this in. What did y'all think of the Mori? Let's talk about the Mori.
Ooh,
I
okay,
liked it.
I like the Mori, but I for some reason thought the Mori would involve the chest the guy that like pops out of the chest. Spoiler,
Oh,
if you've
yeah.
never seen this movie.
Too late
But it's been
now.
out for like 25 years or something. So
Well,
It's
I think
from
that's a big part of
79.
cinema in general. Everyone
but
knows, even if you
yes,
haven't seen it, that an alien pops out of someone's chest.
exactly. Like this is pretty much a thing that happens
It's in
in a lot of
Spaceballs.
yeah, it's in like everything. Yeah, so I did think that the chest burster, that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would be part of the Mori, but I guess this makes more sense because it does kind of like suck your face off or
Yeah.
like bite it off. So, you know, there's that. But
I guess it takes
But
too much time for the
yeah.
face hugger to attach and then like
Yeah.
alien.
Yeah.
Like
And,
that
like,
would be the
put it in
idea. Like
you.
it'd have to be a speed up process of like the face hugger and then
yeah,
like it bursts
that's
out of the
true.
chest.
Because I feel like it would be a lot of standing around waiting for you to like, have the thing come out. But but yeah, it was still pretty cool. So it was definitely better than our least favorite killer.
Lady
So
Voldemort.
yep.
Yeah, Lady Voldemort. But it is true, his Mori or its Mori, there was a big deal about gender, so I'm just gonna stick with its and these. Its Mori does mimic how it kills in the movie,
Yeah, that's what I
which
figured.
is really cool. So when I saw that, I was like, that makes sense.
Hmm.
And I like that they did that. I agree. Something popping out of a chest would have been cool, but I don't think they had the time for that. I mean, first, like Katie says, there was a process
Like
to try
Oh
and
yeah.
figure that.
logically
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
doesn't work.
I thought it was a good representation of how the alien actually killed in the movie.
Okay, well let's move on to the xenomorph's perks. So we have rapid brutality. So you move with a speed and fury that makes blood run cold. You no longer gain bloodlust. Successfully hitting a survivor with a basic attack grants you a 5% haste status effect for, if it's maxed out, 10 seconds. Then we have Alien Instinct. You are so stealthy, sometimes it seems like you appear out of nowhere. Whenever you hook a survivor, Alien Instinct activates. The aura of the farthest injured survivor is revealed to you for 5 seconds. That survivor suffers from the oblivious status effect for 20 seconds. And the last one is Ultimate Weapon. When they spot you, they know the end is near. Whenever you open a locker, Ultimate Weapon activates for 30 seconds. Survivors entering your terror radius scream and reveal their location to you. Those survivors suffer from the blindness status effect for 30 seconds. And those are the perks. Any thoughts?
Um,
I know I'm the one that plays killer the
yeah, I
most.
know. I do know that some discussions I did hear, a lot of people rap brutality is a lot different because when you have it, you don't gain the bloodlust. But however, some people are saying the fact that you have that basic attack and you get that haste really makes up for it once you hit them. Aura reading perks, I'm always concerned with because I run distortion, so people can't read my aura.
Oh, this, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I know some people have talked about for Alien Instinct, the survivor suffers from oblivious. The ultimate weapon, the survivor suffers from blindness. And a lot of people are talking about how they wish they were flipped. So
Yeah,
that it would make more
it
sense
would make more
if,
sense now you say that. I didn't think
yeah,
about
that it would
that.
make more sense if Alien Instinct you had blindness and ultimate weapon you were oblivious. I'm guessing, I know Alien Instinct, the whole point is probably for the xenomorph to hop into the tunnels to get to that person that's further away. But I also kind of agree. Like, I'm curious as to why they put the different status effects on those perks.
Or do oblivious for
The
both.
yeah, yeah, oblivious. Ultimate weapon is interesting because if the xenomorph is moving, then it can find people because it's once you enter the terror radius. So if the xenomorph starts moving or when a killer will start moving, like that's not a perk for you to remain stationary at all. They can get a lot out of that.
The
But I just thought it was I just thought it was interesting. I was wondering why things weren't switched for the status effects, but overall, I think it'd be interesting to see how they play in the game and see what kind of perk combinations people come up with and how they stack their builds because I do see that these could be some really good perks when combined with other ones.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts, Morbid?
No, I mean, since I'm mostly Survivor main and I only played this during PTB, it was interesting to try them out. I was kind of sidetracked looking at the map, but I
Yeah.
think that the ultimate weapon's interesting because I know this seems obvious, but it's the oh my god, I just blanked. It's it's the killer opening the locker rather than you
hmm
for what was the perk when you open the locker and you scream?
Iron
So,
Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry,
It-
because
There
Iron
is a
Maiden, there's
there is a
Survivor.
killer perk for opening locker and getting aura reading too.
Oh,
There's
is there?
also
Oh, okay.
the dredge one.
The dredge, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
blanking on that one now. Darkness revealed, maybe.
Maybe.
It's on
All
the
I can think of the
dredge.
night perk now is nowhere to hide.
Oh, there's only like 100 perks in this game.
Yeah.
Gosh, we need like a
Yeah,
perk
I think
dictionary. Like,
Oh
I
my
know.
god.
flip.
I do think I agree with you though. For the blindness and the oblivious, I feel like it would be better to be oblivious because then it knows where you are after opening the locker. It could travel through the tunnel and come up and find you, essentially. And I feel like if you were oblivious after that, like it would be way harder for you to dodge the killer. But I don't know. Maybe they have their rhyme and reason. I don't know.
Well, I'll give you my thoughts. I think rapid brutality is they're trying to basically have a made for this for killer
Mm-hmm.
so that you can catch up to all the survivors now running made for this because everyone pretty much is running made for this with
Yeah.
resilience
Good
and
perk.
windows. Yeah, it's
And
amazing
hope.
first. Hope at the end. Yeah, in game you have hope. I'd be interested to see like how fast you could catch up using rapid brutality. I don't think it will be good on like every killer, but we shall see.
How long do you think before they like either nerf or buff either or all any of these? Because I
These
feel like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they release the new chapter and then they're like, "Hey, we fixed it."
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, and I agree with Amanda like about the oblivious and blindness should be switched, or they should both be oblivious,
Yeah.
because it would make ultimate weapons scarier. Because when you're oblivious,
Oh
you
yeah,
don't have the terror radius, so you want to sneak attack. Now, I
yeah.
don't think this perk is good on the alien though, because if he's in runner mode, your terror radius is already small. But like, put this on Wesker
Mm-hmm. Oh my
or
god.
or a
That's
killer with a
terrifying.
normal like terror radius, or put distressing on with ultimate weapon,
Mhm.
especially multi-level maps like the game Midwich. You're going to be finding people constantly because distortion's not going to help you with this. The only
Mm-mm.
perk that might
No.
help you is
Yeah.
calm spirit for not screaming, but you would still be oblivious if it was oblivious, but
Yeah,
you
it's
would
gonna be
still have the
interesting.
status effect, but you wouldn't scream. So
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see these on other killers since we mainly just played with Alien.
mhm.
It'll be kind of crazy to see this when it goes live on other killers.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes the killer perks are not really great for the killer they're on, which is
I
what
know.
makes getting adepts really hard on killer, because it's like these perks don't help at all. Not that these are really bad perks, but I don't feel like any of these perks are overpowered right now.
Mm-mm.
Well, I think rapid brutality will be the one I'm interested in seeing people get use out of the haste effect. But I mean, it'll be situational because it depends on what loop you're at. You know, if the survivor can last, because it's only lasts for 10 seconds max.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're at a part of the map where there's jungle gyms and pallets, this may not help you at all. Now, maybe if you pair this with like Coop, might be
Mm-hmm.
good
Have
too.
the longer reach.
Mm-hmm. It'll just be situational. If you can catch a survivor out in the open with this, you'll definitely get them.
Get
But
them. Yeah. I don't think they would nerf it because they're not looking, as far as I know, to nerf made for this. And that's
no,
just the 3%.
I think they're going to see how this interacts with Made for This.
Yeah.
And if this kind of takes care of it. But I mean, it's a chase perk. And so is Made for This. You don't want killers griping about gen rushing and stuff. So I'm like, leave Made for This. And I mean, leave rapid brutality as it is, at least for right now.
Mhm.
I think that's everything for the Xenomorph.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to
The Ridley.
Ripley.
Ridley. I don't know what I'm talking about now.
Close enough.
To Ellen Ripley, who is our
Yeah.
survivor. And so Ellen Ripley, she is going to be the 39th survivor. It's going to be in the chapter with the alien, her co-star buddy. And as we all know, she comes from the 1979 sci-fi horror movie Alien. So she's pretty cool and has some interesting perks. So we can get right into the perks because she doesn't have a cool power because survivors don't have powers.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, just saying, not salty at all. But she has her 3 perks. So she has Chemical Trap, Light-Footed, and Lucky Star. So Chemical Trap, it says in the fog, an officer must adapt to the materials at hand. So after repairing generators for a total of 70, 60, 50%, Chemical Trap activates while standing next to a drop pallet. Press the active ability button to install trap, which stays active for it can be up to 120 seconds if you have the perk maxed. And the aura of the trap pallets are revealed to all survivors in yellow, which is cool so everyone can see it. And when the killer breaks the trap pallet by any means, the trap explodes, slowing the killer by 50% for 4 seconds. Pretty cool perk. Also, putting the trap on the pallet very fast. You can do it after stun. So you can stun the killer and you have plenty of time and more to get that trap on there as well. Very interesting perk, kind of falls in the line of like Blast Mine and perks like that. I enjoyed running it. I got some use out of it. And then we have Light Footed. So it says crossing paths with deadly killers has taught you the value of discretion. Whenever you are healthy, Light Footed activates. It suppresses the sound of your footsteps while running. And it has a cooldown that can be up to 20 seconds if you have the perk maxed. And that the cooldown happens after performing a rush vault action. So I know that some people have been asking for a perk like this. And a lot of the chatter is some killers are concerned about this perk.
Really? I haven't heard this chatter.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
discuss
yeah, we can
in a minute.
The
discuss.
secret
And then we have
chatter.
Lucky Star. It says you know how to stay calm in the face of incomprehensible danger. While hiding inside a locker, Lucky Star activates. It suppresses your gun to pain and the creation of pools of blood for 10 seconds. Upon exiting the locker, you benefit from the following effects for 10 seconds. You can see the auras of the other survivors, and you can see the aura of the closest gen to you in yellow. And then Lucky Star has a cooldown of 40, 35, 30 seconds, depending on how max you have the perk. Side note, for Lucky Star, I think it's really cool because I watched the movie. I was like, oh my God, I see where Lucky Star came from. In the end, when Ripley's trying to escape and she realized that the xenomorph is on her little escape ship with her, she goes into the locker and slips into her little space suit, which is actually an icon on the perk, her in her
Mm-hmm.
spacesuit. And then she starts singing, You Are My Lucky Star. So that's where the perk came from. You're
Nice.
welcome. Education.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I liked that little Easter egg that they threw in there.
Yeah.
Cute.
And it's really cute that we're getting to other Easter eggs, but for like light-footed, there's a little cat on there, and we'll talk about later why. But I don't know. What do you guys think of the perks? We'll start with Mockingbird.
So, Chemical Trap, I shared a video, remember, where someone
Mhm.
used it with any means necessary and put the trap on the
Yeah.
pallet and then lifted the pallet. And then when they stunned the killer, it broke and they were frozen. So, I'm wondering if that's gonna stay in game because that's a good
Because yeah.
pairing of perks. Like,
Yeah.
just make traps and put them around for your friend because everyone could see them. So if you use this in a
Mm-hmm.
Swift, it could be like, well, here, I'll put the trap over here, run to this pallet,
Run here.
right? And
Yeah.
I'll throw it because you can throw the pallet any means necessary. It doesn't have a cooldown anymore. So you can throw the pallet, put the trap on, lift the pallet as much as
You got
you want.
2 minutes to run it.
Now you have to do gens obviously to get the trap,
Yeah.
but so I think it's a fun perk. This falls in line with, like you said, Blast Mine, Flashbangs, just kind of a wiretap, do a gen for this mount and you get a special ability that
Yes.
to annoy the killer with. Here you go. I'm all for those kinds of perks. Light-footed, I think is cool. I don't know whether to be upset as a killer or not. I hadn't really thought about it. It's kind of nice because you're quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much I would run it with when there's other perks. But I really like Lucky Star. And I ran
Yeah.
Lucky Star all PTB and did it with other locker perks. So inner healing, head on, quick and quiet, and Lucky Star. And it gives you the ability to if you have inner healing done and you're injured and you're being chased, quick and quiet into that locker, and it suppresses your grunts of pain, and then
Get a
you can
heal
inner
off.
heal,
Mhm.
and then you have head on as a backup, like, oh, they're on to me. They know what I'm doing, so you can always head on them to get away. And
Yeah.
I do
And then
like
you can
that you
run
can,
for help
yep,
because you see everybody.
yeah. And then you see the auras of everyone. So it's also a good perk. And you can use it like, it does have a cooldown, but you can get in and out of the locker to find your teammates whenever with this perk. You don't have to be injured to get the aura reading. It's a good perk. I don't think it's overpowered. And I think Lucky Star pairs well with the locker
Mm-hmm.
head-on builds. So those are my thoughts. I'm interested to hear about the Lightfoot stuff.
I'll let Morby go, and then I can talk about what I was hearing.
Yeah, so you guys touched on a lot of it, but I think these are going to be great perks. Well, maybe not chemical trap, but well, yes, because you can pair it with any means necessary. But I think a lot of these are going to be great to pair with other things to kind of help yourself become more stealthy. So yeah, like Lucky Star, I think is a good perk too as well for pairing with other things to kind of help hide yourself from the killer. So yeah, I'm interested to be able to make some builds with these and see how they go. And I love blowing up the killer, so anything that helps me,
Does it?
um, yeah, get my revenge makes me happy.
Okay, Queen.
Yes, tell
Tell
us.
tell us about Lightfooted or whatever else you've
Okay,
heard.
so I know
Apparently, I
that
didn't pay attention enough.
no. Well, as someone who doesn't really play killer, I don't really know all the mechanics behind chasing, but apparently hearing people's footsteps is important. So if that is something that a killer
Oh.
is
Yeah.
relying on while they're chasing, especially if a survivor is on the other side of a wall and you're trying to gauge where they're going to go, now if they're healthy, you're not going to hear their footsteps at all, which means it could be easier potentially for a survivor to kind of lose the killer, especially if they're playing like other perks as
Mm.
well.
I just had that. Yeah.
For example, some people like this perk can kind of make you go full on ninja if you want. Like if you're
Meh.
running this with distortion not to be seen, you have this when you're healthy. You can have like calm spirit because there's a lot of perks now that are making you scream that the killer has. And then the other perk I'm trying to think of, it has like the feather as its little symbol.
Lightweight. I was thinking
Lightweight.
lightweight as
Lightweight.
well.
Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
compare that with lightweight to make the marks you make when you're running kind of stagger and farther apart. You can essentially disappear. That's what kind of people were saying, that this can kind of build up with the whole. A lot of people use distortion nowadays because everyone's coming out with killer perks that have some type of aura reading. So
Mm-hmm.
now you pair it with that kind of stuff, and it might just be harder to find people, or if you're chasing, harder to hear people because now you can't hear where they are. Also, flashlight saves
Mm-hmm.
coming up to,
Oh yeah. You don't hear the
yeah,
people running
you're not
behind
going to
you.
hear them running behind you to hit, like if like someone's in a pallet down and you're trying to go for pallet save, flashlight save, breaking a hook, you're not going to be able to hear that stuff now.
That is
So
true.
it can kind of change the whole dynamic of that game, especially if the killer is really relying on listening to their environment. So as I was watching, because it's so funny, most of the people I watch for DBD content are all killer mains. That was one of the big conversations they were having about light-footed.
I wonder if this
But
would also
then,
be good with like a sprint burst build
Hmm.
or background
mm,
player build, like you said, like flashlight
Ooh,
saves.
yes, background player,
Um,
definitely.
and even run it maybe with like you said, lightweight, self-aware, I
Hmm.
believe is the you walk
You
faster.
walk
So
faster.
like run it with like sprint burst, that lightweight, like you can make a quick getaway if the killer finds
Hmm.
you. So yeah, I think yeah, I didn't really think about this perk too much. But yeah, you're right because I do play killer and I do hear people when they're like running behind me, right?
Hmm.
I'm like I hear those footsteps of like and know like they're following as I'm carrying a survivor to the hook. That is a good point.
I think it goes like a lot of people play a build, like you've been saying, you play made for this. You tend to get in chase a lot more than, well, me. I like to hide. You play a little more aggressively, so you have perks that help you when you get hit. I
Mm-hmm.
try not to get hit. So this is a perk that I would be interested in playing because my whole goal is not to be hit, but I like to try to save people. So if I can break the hook or get the pallets done or distract the killer enough to help someone wiggle off and then not know I'm there, I could see that being very useful for a different type of play style. So I'm interested to see how things I compare it with. I'm excited. I like all the perks, but that one I think will be interesting to figure out good combos to do with it to help the team. So
Yay.
any final thoughts on perks?
No, I think we discussed it pretty well.
All right.
Yeah.
Give it over to Morbid Blood. She's going to talk about the map.
Yeah, new maps. See, that's what I'm always excited about for new releases. I just love having new maps, and this one's pretty cool. It is the Nostromo from the movie, so it's the wreckage of Ripley's ship that comes basically to the world of the entity. And so you get to go through the alien landscape and all this kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. It's considered a small map based on the sizes of the other maps offered. So it's slightly smaller than Tova Landing, but not as big as Dead Dog. So it's like kind of right in the middle. I was trying to look at the different maps and kind of base off sizes. And this one's actually considered pretty small, even though it feels huge, at least to
Mhm.
me, when you're on it. But another interesting fact is that this map is part of the Dvarka Deepwood realm, which also has Toba Landing. So they kind of tried to put this into the game and kind of give it a backstory where they're together. From what we played in the PTB, I feel like this map is like 50% outside and 50% aboard the wreck of the Nostromo. So there will be some outside places for you to go. There's a lot of jungle gyms. And then when you're on board the ship, I feel like it's kind of cramped. At least it felt that way
Mhm.
to me, but I liked playing it. It was a lot of fun, but we can get into that. So this wreck features 2 coolant vents that are armed when the map loads, and then they act as traps, and basically they slow down the killer. They can be reset throughout the match with levers that players have to prime, and then you light up a series of LEDs. And you also earn blood points for doing this, which is pretty cool. What did you guys think of like your introduction to the map, like, first time playing it and like these features, I guess, with the coolant vents?
I'm surprised the map is that small because it does feel really big, but I'm wondering if that's because there is this absolutely gorgeous alien sky above you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that makes it feel bigger. Yeah, definitely when you get on the map, guys, look up. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's interesting that there are traps because this would be the first map that would have traps that you could
Yeah.
actively set to run through. So I don't know how useful they would be in like a solo queue, but
Yeah.
if you were Swift, then you could always say like, "Hey, the traps are set. You can run through main building and get that slowdown." You'll when the survivor goes through, it does slow them down a little bit, but the killer would take the main brunt.
Yeah.
Good thing the killer can't set the trap.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think that's an interesting feature that the map is now interactive. But overall, I think the map is it's really cool. I like the landscape. I like the references to the movie. And I think Christine, you're gonna talk about some Easter eggs. But overall, yeah, look up guys. The nice guy is so pretty.
They
So I
did
don't
a
know.
great job on
Hmm.
that. That was pretty cool. How about you,
Lucky.
Mockingbird?
so it is gorgeous. Night side is gorgeous, but I am torn because I feel like behavior is like afraid to do a full indoor map because
Hmm.
it's very
Mm,
divisive. Like there are killers that and survivors too that hate indoor maps, and I'm like, I want a full indoor map eventually. So I wanted the castle. We
It's been
didn't
a
get a
while since
castle.
I had a full indoor map.
I think. Oh gosh, I want to say Midwich is the last one I could think
Hmm.
of. So that'd be
and
4 anniversaries ago.
A long time
Raccoon
ago.
City?
Yeah,
Well, it has
Raccoon.
an outside
Well, they
too.
added an outside
Well,
area. I don't. Yeah, but
they,
I
yeah.
don't know if I count that as like a. Well, it has a roof too, so it's kind of a. I don't know. That one's kind of a mixed bag of
Yeah. But no,
because
I
It's
think you're
the
right. Midwich is like
like fully
the
indoor.
courtyard is pretty small.
Yeah,
I mean, if anybody's
and
been
it's in
here
the
long enough
middle.
to remember Stranger Things, that map was 20, like all inside.
Oh yeah,
I miss that map.
Larry's
I
is
know.
inside. Larry's is the other indoor
R.I.P.
map. Bring it
I
back,
agree.
please. Bring it
Having
back.
the full ship Nostromo, because everything takes place on the ship.
The
Yeah.
alien or the planet part is not, as far as I'm aware. It's been a while since I've watched the movies, but everything seems to take place within the first movie, and they don't crash in the movie. So,
No.
and I feel like in the outdoor portions, there was some areas that were dead zones.
Hmm.
I don't know. I guess I was just wanting a full indoor map. But I
Yeah.
am happy. I am happy with the map. It's not like I hate the map, but I think
Yeah.
they're afraid to do an indoor map. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I don't think Behavior wants to backlash because I think they did. Of course, they did Midwich, and like Midwich, if you play Silent Hill, it is exactly as Midwich is in the
Hmm.
game. Like the classrooms are in the right
Mm-hmm.
order. I mean, there's some stuff that's obviously different because there's breakable walls and stuff, but as far as like the layout of the classrooms and stuff, it is like
They
exact,
did good.
pretty much. For Midwich, I can see like, yeah, it's like that's why everything is indoors. It's because it's basically almost an exact replica of the Midwich in Silent Hill. So I guess I was just kind of hoping because I think you could have gotten more Easter eggs and stuff if you would have done the full ship.
Mm-hmm.
Same. Yeah.
Um, and also, we didn't talk about Shack. I guess what would be Shack is another little. It's not the
It's,
traditional Shack. It's the like
yeah.
pod Ripley
Escapes
apparently.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a
escapes in,
shuttle.
and like it has her pod in there and some lockers. So it's basically, I think, Access Shack basically. But I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it had the window vault, but it has like a pallet in the back. Is what I
Mm-hmm.
remember from when we played. So I don't think it's exactly Shack, but it's basically is,
What would represent shack,
yeah,
but
represent.
it's not even normal what you're used to, because most times shacks is like a square building,
Mm-hmm.
and this one, yeah, I think there was a window fault and a pallet,
Was
but
there?
I
I'm trying
wouldn't
to
say
think.
I don't know if I would say it's a god pallet.
No, it's not a God palette. You
It's
don't
not
run
a
it
god
like the
pallet.
traditional Shack. It's a good map. I'm not trying to diss the map. I just was
Yeah.
like full on Nostromo spaceship
That would have been
map,
so cool.
Yeah. The only thing I can
but no.
think of is that they like have the outside area and it's supposed to be like part of the Deepwood realm. So that's why there's a
Mm-hmm.
planet essentially. But yeah, I agree. I think it should have been like all inside.
Or, kind of like Raccoon City, or
Maybe a
the police
small
station,
mixture.
where it's, yeah, a little outside but a lot inside. Because I would
Yeah.
say, like, the RPD map, it's like what, 90% of it is pretty much inside. And
Mm-hmm.
then
Hmm.
depending on which wing you get, you'll either have roof access with a little tiny strip out there by one of the doors that you can open, or you'll have the back access, which means you don't get roof, but you always get the front no matter what. So I want a castle map. Like, they need to go back for 90s with the
Please.
castle map.
We also need the Trickster map, as we don't really like Trickster,
Yes.
but the Korean map,
They
city,
missed out
studio,
on that.
city, I don't care.
Would
Neon
have been so cool.
lights, the style, the aesthetic. That was like,
Yeah, I
can
agree.
you go back and do that too? So,
All right, do you want to tell us about Easter eggs?
Yes.
oh
Okay,
yeah.
so there's some Easter eggs in the movie. I'm sure there's more than what, we found. Well, there's three jump scares, and then there's one, I say three. There's only two, I'm sorry. And then there's like a character reference. But the first one is Jonesy. So which is the kitty cat. So when the survivor attempts to enter a locker, and it's usually random, there's a chance that Jonesy will jump out at you, loudly meow, and basically jump scare the crap out of you. And then apparently this is not the real Jonesy, but just a memory that the entity has picked from Ripley's memory.
No.
Yeah, so unfortunately it's not real. It's just a figment of our imagination, but it's still cute. Don't think we found him when we were playing.
We
Mm-mm.
couldn't find anything. Let's just be
Yeah,
honest. We had a hard time.
we had a lot of trouble finding
Apparently, you have to
the
just slowly go into the locker too. It's not like jumping in it.
Okay, yeah, because I was trying to like open lockers hoping that he would pop out, but I didn't try every
I
one,
also
so
wonder if the killer is near, if it won't happen also, because it is kind of a jump scare, so you
mm,
wouldn't want the
Mm-hmm.
killer. So, and I was like following
true.
you as the alien, so that could be why also we did
True.
not get it. But also
Yeah.
Jonesy's in the lobby animation too. Don't forget.
Yes.
For Ripley, yes.
Yes, for Ripley.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
Yeah,
not quite
that
map
was
related,
there.
but before we forget, yeah.
Still, it's a good Easter egg because
Joan,
he appears in, while you're waiting, and he kind of goes to her feet. It's really cute.
yeah, and she pets him. It's so cute.
I know.
You have to not
He's
be
just
holding an item though for that to happen. FYI.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's good to know. So another one that we found was Ash, who's one of the characters from the movie, and this one's not really like a jump scare, but his body is found laying on the table in the right wing of the wreckage, and he's like all covered in stuff, and it's just kind of like, oh hey, look, there he is. Another one is the face hugger jump scare. This is the one that got me. Like this thing, oh my God. So when you enter through the right wing of the Nostromo, there's a closed off window that's kind of like you can see into another room. And when you get close to the window, the face hugger slams against it and it just screeches. And oh my God, I jumped so hard because I was not expecting it at all. So that one's a pretty good one. So the other one, though, this one's a secret room. And unlike the one from Midwich, where you have to just finish a gen in a certain place, this one's super involved. You have to find a specific dead body of a cosmonaut, but it's in a random location. It's never like in the same spot. And it'll have a key card on it that you take. And you go to the left wing of the ship, you put the key card in the control panel, and then you have to hack the terminal. And you have to put in a key binding of left, down, up, right. So whether that's on your keyboard or your controller, basically whichever ones you use for that. And it'll unlock the airlock doors. And the secret room houses the MUTHUR 6000, which they nicknamed Mother, and it's an AI computer mainframe on board the Nostromo. So this one we were not able to open. I
We can't
think,
find the person.
yeah,
we
the
found the
cosmonaut was,
person, but there was
But
no
the
key
key
Yeah.
card
card wasn't there.
twice.
yeah, we don't know this one. I don't know if this was like a glitch or something, but yeah, the dead body of the cosmonaut is like random every time the map spawns. So like trying to find it was almost near impossible for us. And yeah, I really wanted to see inside of it, but hopefully maybe during a live match we'll discover it. Who knows? But it's pretty cool that they like gave you a secret room. Kind of like Midwich. Like Midwich has a chest inside, but you have to just do the gen, so it's super
Gens
easy to
in a
get
certain
to.
order. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two
And
gens you have to do.
There's 2 gens, yeah.
that's right. But they're usually like in a specific location. And then this one is like, hey, you have to find this body, but who knows where it'll be.
Well, it's
So,
supposed to be around the ship, is what I read. So it's not. It won't
okay.
be like random in the middle of the map somewhere. It can either be by the main building or
hmm
the shack, what we call the shack building, because that's where I did find one body was behind the shack.
Okay. Yeah, because there are dead bodies obviously throughout the map, but none of them had the key card when we were on there.
Yeah.
So
So,
frustrated.
yeah, it was a little frustrating. But then, oh, apparently this one does have a chest inside of it. I don't know if it contains like a special item or if it's just anything.
I'm sure it's a rare item. Most of the time if they do something like that, it's a rare item.
Yeah, probably. So, and then obviously you don't get to keep the key card. It's just like a limited item that goes away when you leave.
Mhm.
It really serves no purpose. So,
Other than opening the room.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if you leave with it, maybe you get some extra blood points.
Oh, maybe.
They usually do
Yeah.
that with like killer items, but
Yeah.
be
So-
better.
And the room is in the movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, this
yeah.
is in the movie. There's apparently several iterations of the AI computer because there's also a father version, but that one looks like it's an Alien Resurrection, which I've not seen, so I don't know. But the mainframe computer apparently has the exact same readout that Ripley looks at in the Alien movie, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and
she
then like
types it in.
yeah, so that's pretty cool that there's like that little Easter egg, and they seem like they stayed pretty true as far as I can tell to the map, or I say the map, but like to the ship and like the overall look and feel of it. So that's pretty cool. And like Queen said, this is the first map to have an exclusive interactive prop. So like the coolant vents. That's something that no other map has had. Then this is only the second map to have the unlockable secret room, which I really kind of wish they had done for Resident Evil map, but I mean, I don't know what they would have done. But
Well, it could have been
whatever.
it could have been the safe room. You could have unlocked the
Oh,
safe
that's
room.
true. That would have been kind of cool. So yeah, I'm excited to try this. And well, we did play some live matches, but we didn't really get this map.
Oh.
Like,
Oh,
at all.
yeah. Let me say
Did
this.
we?
Now that you say that, because I
Mhm.
meant to make note. So I played solo quite a bit before y'all hopped on and we did customs. I probably played Survivor a dozen or so times. Never got the new map. And I was
Mhm.
not the only one complaining about it either. In lobbies, people were like, "Have you gotten the new map?" All the randos were like asking about it. Do you have an offering? Like, because
Mhm.
I didn't do killer live because the queues were so. I waited like 5 minutes and was like, my patience is done. But Survivor was instantaneous, so I played a bunch of Survivor and never got the new map. Everyone
Okay,
was
yeah, because
desperate to play it and like could not get
from
it.
what I remember us playing, I don't
We
think we
didn't get it.
ever got it in a live match. We only were able to do it in customs,
Yeah.
so that was kind of annoying. So,
Yes.
like everyone else waiting for this who didn't play the PTB, I'm excited to try this map in a live,
Mhm.
you know, showing or whatever it's
Well,
called.
and I'm surprised too because I know usually when a new chapter comes out with a new map, they boost the probability of getting it.
Yeah.
And apparently they didn't do that in PTV at all. Like they really should have had this map be like you get it every third time or something. You know, like because you
Mhm.
need
Yeah.
to test the new map. You do need to test the killer on different maps too. I get that, but people want to see the new map, you know. So
Yeah.
put it in rotation more.
Plus, this is generally where you find the bugs too, and we weren't able to do that in a live match,
Yeah.
so it's whatever. Hopefully, it'll be fine when it comes
Oh,
out.
it'll be
And
perfect. I mean, when has anything ever gone wrong with a
exactly,
chapter
it's
release?
fine.
Fine. So, one other aspect we wanted to talk about was some conspiracy theory stuff. Get your tinfoil
Ooh,
hat on, right? Because I had this thought. I know
ready.
some other content creators have said this. I know Spook and Jukes did. But was Alien really originally supposed to be the anniversary chapter? Because there was a big rumor way back when Alien Day, which I can't remember the
Mhm.
date of, but Alien Day came around and it was rumored that the DVD anniversary chapter would be announced and it would be Alien. And like there were all these like rumors for all this other Alien stuff, like the TV show. There's another game coming out for Alien. And like all the other ones came true. All the other stuff that was rumored was actually announced on Alien Day, except for DVD. Was it the anniversary chapter or did they move it? And did they move it to compete with another game that we will start playing tomorrow?
Mhm.
Dun
So
dun
If you want to know when
dun.
we're recording, Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes out
Mhm.
tomorrow for us. We
Yeah.
all have
Kill
bought
with your
it and
friends.
everyone is
Quiff.
excited. But, you know, another ASM horror game is coming out. Did they move it
Woo.
to compete with Texas Chainsaw? Any thoughts? Or do you agree? What do y'all think?
I don't. You know what? The only thing I'm surprised about is no one discovered that it was Alien. There were no leaks for this,
That's true.
so
That
it
is
always could.
weird.
Yes, it could be that part of them not trying to announce anything was really trying to keep them under wraps. I want to say that I do think this was meant to be the anniversary chapter, and maybe part of trying to keep it under wraps was to keep it as a surprise for everybody, because I do think they're going to get some competition with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because you know what? Sometimes you just want to kill people.
With your
Now you
friends.
get to do it with your friends.
Watch out, we're coming for you.
Yeah. But I think it made sense to me. I just give a major kudos for having absolutely no leaks. I think they fired everybody.
Yeah, this one was a shocker that this didn't leak.
I know, because Singularity leaked, and it's not
Yep.
even
And
licensed.
it was just like a regular
It was the
release.
anniversary, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
original.
But I do have to agree with Queen. I 100% think this was supposed to be the
Mhm.
anniversary because, I mean, they usually go big for anniversary. They announced Nemesis as an anniversary, I
Mm-hmm.
believe.
Silent
I
Hill.
remember we all watched that live thing and it
Mhm.
was like amazing when they announced it. And they announced this year's and I was just like, oh, cool.
Well, it's the same
That's
last
it.
year too. It was
Yeah.
Dredge.
So whether they moved it to coincide with the release of Texas Chainsaw, maybe it does seem very coincidental, but
Yeah.
also For some reason, they moved it. I do think that they did.
Like they maybe moved it up. Or,
Yeah.
it
Moved
seems
it
so
back.
it seems so put together. Like this whole chapter, like I was like, everything seems so well thought out with how detailed it is, with the Easter eggs, with just everything they did. So I feel like it's well thought out in that they released it, when they wanted to. I mean, it's a big chapter. Even the fact on the starting screen, I don't know if you guys know this, like when we first, well, of course we've all played the killer here, but when you first log in, you select the xenomorph as the killer, like nothing's there. And then the xenomorph, you see like this drool at the top of your screen, and then suddenly it just curls its way
Yeah,
down.
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Like,
really
it's
cool.
so cool. And even just how the xenomorph starts on the map, it's all curled up and it like unfurls like a beautiful flower, like an alien flower. I was like, they put a lot of thought into that.
Maybe that's another thing. Maybe they moved it to make it better.
Or
I
maybe they need
mean,
more time.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like maybe they didn't have enough time for it, and they're like, "Crap! Like we're not going to
Well,
make it to anniversary. Like it's just too soon." I mean, that could be another reason.
Well, the thing also is with this killer, there's also alterations to every map. You add
Yes.
control stations and
Mm.
you add tunnels. You add something
Oh, that's
underneath
true.
every single map. I have no idea how hard or easy that is to do, but you have to make tunnels under every map.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the control stations kind of spawn by gens. So you have RNG playing into that. Everything's spawning in as it should. So that's my only other thought is they needed more time to do all the maps. But we also know from a Q&A live stream they did a while ago that they work on a chapter for 12 months apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So typically
Interesting.
that's what they said. And then there was a lot of backlash because then everyone's like, Lady Voldemort. Explain Lady Voldemort. That took you 12 because it wasn't well, they said 12 months not for the whole chapter, like just the concept design. I don't know. It was wild.
Clearly, they were like doing other things in between some of these 12 months.
So yeah, it didn't leak though. I don't know what's going on with the leaks and stuff, to be honest, because like Skull Merchant didn't leak either. Like I don't know what's with the hidden miss leaks. Like
I was gonna
Singularity
say,
leaked.
somebody probably looked at her stuff and was like, "There's no
No,
point. Like, why
no
even
one,
leak this?"
no one wants this Predator wannabe. Like I think we'll have to talk about Lady Voldemort some other time because we always have thoughts.
Apparently, we just still have thoughts to get out. But I could see this, though. I could see this having been the anniversary chapter because they're similar in the fact that everything's supposed to be happening in the same realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if this was the anniversary chapter, then Singularity would have played off nice from it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
Because they're in the same realm. But if they waited to perfect it, then I think that they did a good job on that because it's so detailed. It's like a pretty little package. Yeah, I mean, I think it could have been, and maybe they moved it.
Do you think
I
it's a
mean,
mistake to not have it? If they could have, like, let's say they weren't running behind, maybe they just moved it to compete with Texas Chainsaw. Do you think that's a good move?
I think it's a good move to give your people something to play. When something else big is coming out that's very much anticipated, because we all know during the Texas Chainsaw, when you got to play
The technical test.
the
Yeah.
technical test, that almost all the big DBD streamers left DBD for days on end
Oh,
to
well,
play.
well, even like today, I went on Twitch and like
Yes.
everyone's like, one day, like they're playing DVD, but their
They're
Twitch
super
channel
excited.
like titles like one day till TCM, like Bubba Waiting Room, like all those kind of things. Like people are like gonna ditch DVD tomorrow. It's gonna be Texas Chainsaw.
I think it's good that there's something to have people excited for in the meantime for it coming out. If they did it in a, hey, we need to compete move, I think it would have been wise. Anniversary, does the Singularity have as much as impact? No. Singularity is also becoming a 3-gen killer, which I don't like. So now we have Lady Voldemort and I don't know,
Oh,
her
Larry.
henchmen.
We don't like Larry anymore.
Larry. No.
Larry.
Okay, all
He's
the
all
Larrys
right.
we've gone against have stayed on one side of the map, put all their little cameras up everywhere, and not leaving that side of the map. So they're 3-gen, and I don't like it. maybe it's good that they moved it, but I could definitely see how people would say that they think it would have been the original chapter for the anniversary.
Yeah. And this is a good
Mhm.
franchise to pull people in. So if that's
Mhm.
something that they did strategically plan, like kudos, because Alien is huge. People love this movie
Mm-hmm.
and this
And
whole thing in general. Like they love, well, not everybody loves the sequels, let's put it on there.
Well,
But yeah, it's one that I know a lot of horror fans are big fans of. Even if they're not horror fans, they just like sci-fi.
mm-hmm.
So,
it's also
you know,
ingrained in pop culture too. Like
oh
I
yeah.
never watched Alien, but if you talk about Ripley and the xenomorphs and the whole alien popping out of the chest thing, even though I hadn't
Mhm.
seen it, I knew what you guys were talking about. So this is essentially like a household name that's coming to DVD, which
Yeah.
is, right
Which is
off
a
the
big
back of
pull.
also Nicolas Cage. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
they've been having some big positives.
Yeah.
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 And also I mentioned Alien Isolation was a big hit, which is another game
Yes.
Oh, that's
that
right. Yeah.
is that I am terrified to ever play because it is. I have watched people play it, and it is terrifying. The Alien is terrifying, but that game, I'd have to look when that came out. But it came out several years ago, and it was a big hit. And they're still coming out with other, like, I believe a TV shows in the works. There's another game coming out. There's a multiplayer Alien game, Fireteam Elite, which I've not played, but Alien is still coming out with content basically,
Yeah.
so it's not going
Mm.
away. And
I mean,
so,
strike when the iron's hot. You know what I mean?
That came out in 2014, by the way.
thank you.
You're welcome. Because
I
I
knew it was
couldn't
a while ago.
remember. It's been a while,
It's
but
been a while,
yeah.
but like I feel like people still talk about Alien Isolation because the AI for the alien is so good in that game,
Hmm.
Yeah.
um, and it's so
I mean,
terrifying.
I still have people like who maybe like at parties or like breaking the ice events. They're like, who do you think would win, Alien versus Predator? Like it's
Oh, that too.
yeah, like it's a huge thing and like the fact that they got this was pretty cool. I was not expecting them to get a huge license.
Now,
Would have been cooler if Lady Voldemort was actually Predator,
and then
Well,
we
there's
could
also
have
that.
as
Alien
conspiracy
versus
theorists
Predator
think.
mode. You have to have Alien versus
Yes.
Predator mode
Oh
behavior
my
if you
god,
get
that would
Predator.
be
Oh my gosh.
amazing.
Alien Predator 8 survivors. I can see it right now.
Yes! Let's do
And you can fight
it.
against each other.
Yeah. I don't care what it is. Just have a battle royale of like
Hmm
Oh
everyone
my
has
gosh, a
chemical
killer
traps and
tournament.
like flame
That'd
turrets
be
everywhere.
so
Let's go.
cool.
Hell yeah, I'd be down.
I think we're
Moving
ready to
on.
move on. Yeah, I think we're good
All
with
right.
Yeah,
alien
I think that's
conspiracy. Every
alien conspiracy theories are
everyone okay.
great.
Everyone take off your tinfoil hat now.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
I took it off. It's
Yep,
so
mine's out.
comfy though.
Ooh, feel my hair.
I feel
All right.
exposed now.
You can keep it on if you want to. It's okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the barbecue event just ended in the DVDs. So it was a smaller event that they brought back from, I guess, years past. And like a lot of little mini events, there was like a rift where you can get cosmetics, survivor and killer. And you did there were special blood point offerings, barbecue invitation to give you extra blood points for only doing gens or getting hooks. Rude. We're used to invitations where you get like a percentage extra blood points. But so it's a nice little small event. I don't know what you guys think about it. Morbid?
This was my first one. I know they've done this
Mm-hmm.
before, but
Yeah.
this was my first time experiencing it. And the gens were fun because they were little
Mm-hmm.
margarita machines and
Yes, they're cute.
they would start up when you finish the gen and like the little leg would rotate. So that was kind of cute. But I think it was kind of to me, like if we're being honest, it was a little lackluster. Like it was cool. Like, there were some little things like when you got hooked, it like, like got hot and kind of
Oh,
toasty.
sizzled.
And sizzled. Yeah, there you go. And like that was kind of cool. But other than that, it like you said, like the offerings, I felt were like, why do I even want to play it? If I don't get a chance to do gen, say I just get chased, like I'm not going to benefit from it. When maybe I could play a different offering for something else that I'm trying to achieve. So it was cute. Like it was a little fun event, but I wish that they had done something else for offerings. How about you, Maki?
Oh, I have thoughts. don't know.
Oh,
Go.
good.
Yeah, I
Give
mean,
us your
well, I
thoughts.
mean, okay, I agree. Margarita machine, the hooks, like the aesthetics, all good. That's fine.
Yeah.
I guess the positive I get out of it is that you can earn rift fragments for the current tome. Like the stuff you do in the
Mhm.
BBQ event, you
True.
still collect. So it gives me more stuff to do because usually in the early levels of the rift, it's pretty easy to knock out. Like level 1, you can knock out in like a day if you play a lot, but of like just the survivor track, say. So it gives me more to do,
Mhm.
but the cosmetic, we had the clown cosmetic and Jake had a cosmetic, and they
Mhm.
were
Oh, I forgot about
okay.
that.
And there were charms. I don't care about charms. I know some people love charms. I'm sorry. I don't care about the charms. So I'm all about the cosmetics. The clown cosmetic I don't really care about. Jake's is okay. I hate the hat.
Mhm.
Yeah, same.
Shirt's fine. Everything else, eh. Yeah, I don't feel like the cosmetics were that great. Like, especially
Yeah.
not compared to like I'm thinking of like the Halloween event that's going to be
Mhm.
coming up.
Mhm.
Christmas, obviously, like those events have way better cosmetics. I just thought the cosmetics should have been better. And you already made the point about the offering that it's just for the gens, it's just for the hooks. And I feel that's more of a big deal on the survivor side because the killer's whole
Mhm.
objective is to get hooks. Like, yeah, it'd be nice if you would get extra points, like for chase or
Yeah.
kicking gens, but like the killer's ultimate goal is to hook people. So you're like the first one caught and get tunneled out of 5 gens. Yeah, you've never touched a gen and you get
Which happened
nothing.
several times.
Yeah,
Yep.
speaking from experience, recent experience,
Mhm. Tunneling's
Mhm.
on a rise.
next episode we might talk about that. That's a whole other
I had
issue.
one match where I got 5,000 blood points.
Oh, yeah,
That sounds like a
same.
clickbait article title.
Or you got
Mhm.
slugged by the night. Yeah, that was great.
Oh my
Uh,
god, that was horrible.
oh,
Yeah.
and he just stood over you. It was great.
Yeah,
Um,
and randos weren't doing anything.
So yes, anyway, that goes to the point of the offering. And then like we can't use the offering. I think I'd feel differently if we could like
Yeah.
recycle the offerings because this is all well, this also happens for the Lunar New Year event too. You get special offerings. But that's for like the Lunar New Year event though, it spawns in invitations and you get points from the
Mhm.
invitation, so it works a little different. Where this one
Mhm.
is just gens or hooks.
Yeah.
And I think if the invitation did something else, like if they would have made it like the Lunar New Year event, like you had to go get, I don't know, it's barbecue. What are we getting? Like
I mean, the Lunar
get
New Year is
I
just a
need
floating invitation.
yeah,
Like,
we need to get like a margarita cup to get our margarita. Like then you have
oh,
to
that
put
would
it in
be
the
so
machine.
cute.
Yeah, put it in the
Oh, that'd be
machine
cute.
or something. I don't know. If it did something more, I think I'd feel differently. But yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like it's not a terrible event. I know people are like excited because it's been
Nostalgic.
many
Yeah.
years. Like I don't know how long because I don't think I've even played it. So we're talking like early DVD
Been a
maybe. Someone
while.
comment if you know.
Yeah.
But I know
And
some
people
of the
made it seem
people,
like it's been a while.
yeah, the content creators have been playing like DVD since day one. We're like super excited about the margarita machines and stuff. But overall, I didn't feel like there was anything really added to the event to make it
2018.
fun. 2018.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. Okay. So
yeah,
it's been
that was the year before I started playing.
Before, yeah.
so it's been a bit.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
I get why people are excited about the aesthetic. I just didn't feel like there was any other interaction for the event. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Like let me go get a cup and get like some margarita or something. Maybe if your survivor drinks a margarita, like you get a haste ass effect for.
Oh, kind of like Halloween with the pumpkins.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Or yeah,
that would have
there's
been
no,
so
yeah
cool.
something. Oh yeah, the pumpkins. Like yeah, something to interact with. There was like nothing to
Yeah.
interact with that was extra, if
Mm-mm.
that makes sense. So not terrible, but it wasn't that. I'm waiting for Halloween. Let Halloween come,
Yeah.
please.
I'm excited.
Especially since it was so hyped up and people are like, oh my god, they're bringing it back. With all the other events they do that do have interactive stuff now, I was just like, this is just me playing regular
Mm-hmm.
CBD and similar to me bringing in like a selfish cake
Yeah.
to get the extra blood points. And not only that, we can't use them. So now we have characters stacked up with all these barbecue imitations, which then can't be used right now. We can't trade them out or anything like that. So
I'm sure back in 2018, like this event was like a big deal, right? Because that's like 2
Mhm.
years into the game. Like having margarita
Yeah.
gens and stuff
Mhm.
was probably a lot of fun and was like a big deal back in 2018. But they have put a lot of work into their events now. And so when you compare it to Christmas and the snowman and Halloween, the cosmetics you get for Halloween and the pumpkins, like this was just didn't really hit the spot at all.
Yeah.
I
So,
agree. Any final thoughts?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
no,
All
I think we're
right.
good. I'm excited about
So we
this
did
next
want
topic.
to
Yeah.
So we did want to talk about something that we found on the YouTubes. Came up on my feed because I watch all the DBD things. But a person by the name of Jared Cline, who makes films, made a short Trapper film, our beloved Trapper in DBD, and he did like a live action adaptation of the Trapper and DVD, and it's really good. It's like 17 minutes long. We all watched it together the other day. Nicely shot. He did an amazing job with the characters. So obviously the Trapper's in there. We have appearances by Dwight. We have Meg and we have Claudette, and like spot on costumes, mannerisms. One of the comments says this is the most Meg that's ever megged. Like he did so good with that, representing doing gens, flashlight saves, what it's like, and even bringing in some entity lore. So we just kind of wanted to shout it out and talk about it. But if you type in the Trapper DVD or Trapper short film in YouTube, it will come up under Jared Cline. And he's got 2 other videos on there, one that's scary and one that's just beautiful to watch as well.
Go
So
watch
we
the
kind of
scary one,
wanted
it's good.
go watch, yeah, the
Yeah, it
scary
was
one.
it
Scary
was
one's
really
only
The
good.
jump
5
scares.
minutes.
Yeah, it's really short.
And it's from like 7 years ago, but I
Yeah,
still
but it
enjoyed
was
it.
really good. It was
So,
really good. And then he has like a 4-minute one on a trip he did to Iceland, which is just beautiful.
Yeah, a
So we
lot of
definitely
drone
recommend it.
footage.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of the Trapper? Some mocking. Like, what did you think?
I thought it was great. The
Yes.
casting, spot
Mm-hmm.
on. The actors looked like the characters. The costumes, like you
Yes.
said, were like spot on. Like even like to Dwight's shirt, where he had like half tucked in, half out.
Hmm.
It's
His
dirty.
mannerisms.
Yeah, the mannerisms, but even like this, like costume wise, like Meg with her hat, like it's like
Mm-hmm.
the base
Mm-hmm.
cosmetics. But I also really liked the tone of the
Mm-hmm.
film. It was very serious. It wasn't like there wasn't any comedy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of felt like how realistic match, I guess, in DVD would go, or if you like
Mm-hmm.
realistically, if you were thrown into the realm with the killer, because there wasn't like a terror radius or anything, so it'd be like he sneaks up like on you,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's
Which he
Trapper,
did
right?
several times.
Yeah. So it's kind of like realistic in that there's not like this terror radius or anything, more survival horror in that way where yeah, you have to like find the gin and do the gin and not step on the traps, and you can still like I love like Claude gets the flashlight and she's like
Mm-hmm.
what am I supposed to do with this? And but she does eventually shine in his face. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
like that works. But I like that it was serious and that it was scary. And I hope if he does any more, which I think he is, but that he keeps with that tone. Because I know some of the comments were
Mm-hmm.
like, go more comedy. Like, because there
Yeah.
are hokey things in DVD, but I really like the serious aspect. I like
Mm-hmm.
the Trapper, where I like the look of the Trapper,
Yes.
however they did like the skin texture and glow on like the shoulders and back and arms was really good. And that it was kind of they show how he's conflicted because he's one of those killers
Yeah.
that doesn't want to kill, but he's made the
Mm-hmm.
kill. And there's some moments where he hesitates. And so seeing that conflict, that it's not just a straightforward like killing machine going after everyone. So I really like that as well. What do you want to add, Morbid? What did you like?
Pretty much all the things that you said. Like I was gonna add that on there. the fact that the killer felt not remorse, but he had like an internal struggle kind of thing, and then the production value on this was like chef's kiss. Like it was amazing. Like the costuming, the I say special effects, but like the prosthetics for the trapper were like amazing. Like it didn't look like, oh, I did this in my basement. Like this was like very high quality. And like compared to his other video where it looks like, they pretty much probably shot it in his apartment. This was like probably somewhat of a stage area. Like it blew my mind at how well they did this. I thought, oh, it's going to be like kind of, hey, this is my project in high school or college, kind of quality. So yeah, like kudos. Like this guy is being slept on. He needs more viewers and subscribers. And
Yeah.
DVD needs to hire him for something.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
I don't know
making a
what.
DVD movie.
They're making a movie, yeah.
Well, see, there you go.
Hire
help with
him. I don't care who
anything.
they have. Blumhouse, go
Exactly.
hire him right now.
Yeah. So pretty much my thoughts on the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and some other things as well with it. I think it also shows the confusion of starting off in the map or waking up at the campfire, because I don't want to give too much away, but one survivor had never been there before, and another survivor was kind of like the mentor. They were the prestige survivor, so to speak. So you saw the three survivors, so Claudette, Meg, and Dwight. You heard a scream, a female scream of another survivor who we were kind of thinking could have been Nia.
I figured
But,
he didn't see her, so she had to be like doing something quiet.
well, being caught, apparently.
Urban Evasion didn't work.
Yeah, she needs Urban Evade better. And at the end, there was even a teaser for another killer. I'm not going to give it away. You got to go watch it. But yeah, definitely, if you guys want to check out his channel again, Jared Cline, or you can type in the Trapper DVD movie, it will come up.
I'll link it.
Yeah,
we'll
we
link
can
it in the
link
video.
it. As of right
Yeah.
now, he only has like 4,000 subscribers. The Trapper movie is his most viewed video right now out of the three. It's just really good. So hopefully you can guys go on there. Very humbled. He's been talking to everybody in the chat as well with people's ideas for maybe things to do. He's been really interacting with the community. So definitely get a chance to go check him out, because I really would like him to make a movie for the killer that he teased.
Me too.
So it will be
Yep.
so good. So please go give it a watch. I think you'd really enjoy it.
Go do it now.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and do it now.
Okay. Last part is so there's a survey out that was released today. And I was excited at first because I was like, a survey. We can do the survey. But apparently the survey is just over perk descriptions. So we're going to see what this is and see if it's worth looking at. I forgot. Let me share this.
Yeah, I was all excited.
Share all the things with us.
There we go.
I was all excited as well because I saw it on my Twitter, I think, and I was like, "Oh, cool! Like we can let them know stuff." And then I was like, "Wait, this is it."
Let them know about all that tunneling. Oh, this is just perks.
Yeah.
Says it should be 10 minutes, but it's supposed to be over perk descriptions. So I'm kind of curious. We all have a English writing like background, so
technical writing.
Yes, technical writing. So let's look at it.
We know words, right?
Okay, how would you describe your experience with that video? So we have all of our normal questions.
Normal. So veteran for sure.
Which one do you play most? I guess since we're all doing it,
Survivor mostly.
Yeah,
I mean, I play killer and I prefer playing Survivor. We play on PC.
Yeah.
Sorry, console people. In a typical week, how often do you play TBD? Oh, no.
Oh. For you, it's almost every day. For me, Chrissy, it's a few times a week, but...
Yeah.
We'll average it out. We'll do it a few times.
Okay.
I've been playing other games. And then, like, tomorrow, we're going to play Texas Chainsaw. And Phasmo has an update. Like, all the games right now. I'm sorry, DVD. You're going to get them.
I know.
We won't ignore you completely, but you're like...
We're going to take a break.
You're kind of like the middle child. We're gonna forget
Until
about you.
Alien comes out, I think everyone's gonna be taking a break.
Okay, we play in La English.
Mm-hmm.
How would you rate your level of English? Let's see. Reading
Oh.
text, books, articles, subtitles.
Oh,
My God,
master, for sure.
Mastered. An
Like, we
understanding of
devour
audio, conversation, television. I know. Yes. I would say master. Expressing your thoughts orally with accuracy. How are we doing?
Master?
Comment below.
I know.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel intermediate. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel that. We also record at like night, which is probably not like our brain is
True.
not functioning the highest.
Like after work, after dealing with all the kids, after
Mhm.
chores, yeah.
Oh my gosh, what is this? Okay, there's an image. Sorry if you're
Oh, we're gonna
audio
have-
only.
We're gonna have to read.
You're
Ugh,
gonna
I
have to
don't
go to
know that.
YouTube and watch. Okay, please read the following perk. We have hastened healing. This is a made up perk because Roland Collins is not a survivor.
But we better get Roland Collins
Oh.
now. It'd be
Interesting.
easier to read if it wasn't blurry.
Yeah.
It's a little
interesting that
blurry. Maybe
they
it's not so
made
bad
it up.
for
Yeah.
me. It might be because you're watching my stream. When
Yeah.
healing another survivor, press E to gain 50% healing speed for 5 seconds and become exhausted for 40 seconds.
Oh,
So
I want that perk.
So then on the right, you can, I guess, hover over. It has detailed information what exhausted means and what healing
Nice.
means. And it has the little icon, the heart for the exhausted and the medkit for healing.
Cool.
So let's
That's
see.
really cool.
So
Especially if you're new.
like what's especially with other debuffs like oblivious, blind, like what does that mean?
Which I did
Yeah.
look up while we were talking about it to see Dwarf's perks because I couldn't remember the difference.
I know.
How easy or difficult is to understand the perk in the above image? So very difficult, difficult, neither easy nor difficult, easy or very easy.
I would say it's very easy, at least to me. Like if they're
This one
talking about
is-
understanding how the perk works,
Yeah, and this example perk is very straightforward.
is very straightforward.
If you get into
Yeah.
complicated perks,
Yeah.
we'll have to see. To what
Yeah.
extent to what extent did the organization of the information help your understanding of the perk?
Well,
Um.
as veteran players, I think we understand most of the perks what it means, but I like the pop out.
Yeah.
So I like that as a reminder. So I would say very, like,
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah. Like if I was new and I read that, I'd be like, "What does exhausted mean?"
Yeah.
But then they provide it, so it's like, "Oh, cool. Okay, now I know."
Did you use the detailed information to help you understand the perk? We'll just say yes.
Yes.
Because we did
Yeah.
look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Please read the following perk. We have electrophobia, a very rare not Jake perk. When a survivor completes a generator, they have 5% hindered for 12 seconds.
Complete them if you can.
It
It is
changes
changing
nothing.
nothing.
The not Jake.
The not Jake.
So then
I like
on
the
the
humor.
right, there's detailed information for hindered. It's a debuff. The killer or survivor moves at a decreased speed. Generator completed. Mechanic. Survivors must complete generators to escape. Once the generator is complete, it can no longer be damaged by the killer. I feel like that's from like the tips we get at the beginning of before the match
Yeah.
starts.
Yeah, that reminds me of the little
I was
tip
just-
generator
where
one.
it's like,
Yeah, I was
if you
just gonna
get
say that
hooked, you
one.
can try to 4% off the hook. Or
Yeah,
2
I feel
gens in the
like-
trial.
I feel like that part becomes a bit redundant. Like they don't
Yeah.
really explain what hindered means on the loading screen, but definitely like the gen stuff. So that one's kind of maybe not needed, but the hindered for sure, because sometimes I don't remember what that means.
Yeah, I feel because like completes a generator. Also, if you played the tutorial, everyone plays the tutorial, right?
Yeah,
when
you
they
know
get
what
this
that
game. You
means.
know what
You
you're.
better be. Get blood points playing
I
tutorial.
know. The
Facts.
whole point of the game is to do a gen, so you better
Yeah.
complete that gen. So the question is, how easy or difficult is it to understand the perk in the above image? I would say very easy.
Yeah, I would say like it falls in line with what we did for the last one.
Yeah. Very.
I have questions though. Is not Jake an alter ego?
Not Jake is apparently a killer.
Because I would
That's
like.
actually a pretty cool perk.
Yeah. Right. Also, are these coming?
I know. Is this coming?
Or are these just, things they thought of and never put in the game?
Mhm.
Because some of them are kind of
Oh,
cool.
here's a boon. Boon, safe
Dasher's
haven.
Soul.
Dasher Soul. We're looking forward to these
Mhm.
new killers and
Mhm.
survivors coming. So inside the a boon that provides some semblance of safety is a description. Inside the boon totem's radius, injured by a basic attack, gain a token. 3 tokens is 5% haste and 15% vault speed. 6 tokens, you get endurance. Does not lose its tokens, does not stack. And then the detailed information on the right is haste. It's a buff. The killer survivor moves at an increased speed. Endurance is a buff. If a survivor would enter the dying state instead, they suffer a deep wound and need a comma behavior. Sorry. Performing a conspicuous action removes endurance. Sorry. I was like, edit, comma. It's a comma. The dying state, comma. Okay. Boon Totem is a mechanic. A fiery blue totem. Press E to bless a dull totem, applying your boon. All survivors benefit from the perk within 24 meters of the boon totem. The boon totem can be removed by the killer. Basic attack is a mechanic. The short or medium range melee attack every killer has. Vaults. The killer or survivor can vault through a window. A survivor can also vault over pallets and perform a fast vault while running. Okay.
One, I want this perk in the game. 15% vault speed. Could you imagine?
Oh my god, I know.
Resilience.
6
And it even
tokens?
says it does not stack. So it would be on
But
its own.
Oh,
But
that's
that's
true.
so cool.
you don't lose your tokens either, so it's like,
No.
holy crap.
No. It looks like, is that just in the totem territories or is that just
I
permanent
think
from the game?
I think you get a token when you get hit in the
In the
boon.
radius, in the boon.
Right?
And then,
Inside the boon's
yeah.
radius, injured. When you're injured by basic attack, you gain a token.
You
So
get
we're putting
Killers.
this on a multi-level map. And,
Killers hate this one
Uh-huh.
perk.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool.
So how easy or difficult is it to understand the perk image above? Very easy, I would say.
Yes.
To what extent did the organization of information help you understand this perk?
I'd say very or moderately. I
Very.
think these we all know these
I think
stuff.
we're getting to a point where there might be too many definitions.
Too many
I
definitions,
don't know
yeah.
if we need to know
Yeah.
basic attack or vault.
This one, okay, maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's not a lot of information, but it's kind of a lot, like +5 haste and +15 vault speed, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. But I don't know if they put more words in there, if it'll be too much.
Well, the only thing they don't ever in their definitions like explain fast vault. Rush vault is
That's
what they
true.
call it.
True,
So
true,
maybe if
yeah.
it said rush vault, because I think we all kind of know what a vault is, right?
Yeah, and we know that, like, if you get extra vault speed, it's like, oh, I know what that means,
Yeah.
so good point.
But maybe if they were talking about a specific type of vault, like what is a rush vault? Well, that would be your fast or medium vault, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. We're looking forward to this perk behavior.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Harming hands. Oh, it's a very
Ooh,
real snail perk.
Snail perk.
It's the snail
The
perk.
snail. Your close relationship with the entity bends the obsession to your will. When the obsession completes a healing action on someone at least 32 meters away from you, the healed survivor is exposed.
Oh my god.
When the healed survivor heals someone or is put in the dying state, they are no longer exposed. That is scary. This perk has a 40-second cooldown.
We don't want this one in the game, just to clarify.
It's just the
Yeah,
obsession, so we're sacrificing whoever is the obsession, it looks like. Because it's not everyone. But then if you pair it with like perks that change the obsession.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy.
Man, this perk would suck.
So detailed information is obviously we have exposed as a debuff. The survivor is vulnerable and can be downed with a single basic attack, even while healthy. I think that's a good description. Obsession mechanic. The killer becomes obsessed with one random survivor. Perks interact with the obsession in special ways. Okay. Healing mechanic, we read this one earlier, I believe. A survivor can heal another survivor. With perks or items, a survivor can heal themselves. And dying state, a survivor who has been downed by the killer, the dying survivor can be picked up and hooked by the killer.
It
Okay,
all
so
makes sense to me.
yeah, I'd say kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this one's more very. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the healing, I don't know. My concern would be on some perks that get really elaborate, like the detailed information can get
Oh
like
God,
super
yeah.
super long.
Yeah.
Dead hard.
Like if you do this,
You can only use this perk on a Wednesday.
and if you kick
But
the
only
gen and spin around 3 times.
but only if it's raining.
Make sure you're wearing a pink bow tie.
Oh, we gotta
Oh, see, here we go.
compare. Oh my God, there's
Oh,
A
this
lot
is
of
a
boon.
lot.
Okay, so I think this is good. This is letting us know that they're considering this perk.
okay.
So are they just wanting to pick which image looks the best? Please read.
Is
It's all
it
the same perk.
the
There's 4
text is
versions
different?
on
The
each
text is
one.
different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
I
if
don't.
this is different, but the description looks
Mm-hmm.
because that one's shorter. I
Mm.
think the
Oh, the wording's different.
okay. I think the
Oh,
detailed
they've added more
information.
stuff. Yeah.
I think the detailed information
Is the
same. The definitions are the
same.
same. So for those listening, that's like the haste, the endurance, like definitions are the
Yeah.
same. So
The stuff on the right side has gotten more.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, so I see it.
So option A is inside the boon totem's radius. When a survivor is injured by a basic attack, this perk gains a token. 3 tokens gains 5% haste and 15% increased vault speed. 6 tokens gains endurance. This perk does not lose its tokens. This perk does not stack. Okay. Option B. All survivors benefit from the following effects when inside the boon totem's radius. For each survivor who is injured by a basic attack, Safe Haven gains a token. 3 tokens gain 5% haste and 15% increased vault speed. 6 tokens gain the endurance status effect. Safe Haven does not lose its tokens when snuffed. Survivors can only be affected by 1 instance of Safe Haven at a time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little confused now.
Mhm.
C. Let's look at option C. Also, I'm sorry. Survivors benefit from the following effects when inside the boon totem's radius. For each survivor who is injured by a basic attack, this perk gains a token. 3 tokens gain 5% haste and 15% increased vault speed. 6 tokens gains endurance. This perk does not lose its tokens. This perk does not stack. And option D, inside the boon totem's radius, injured by a basic attack, gain a token. 3 tokens, 5% haste and 15% vault speed. 6 tokens is endurance. Does not lose its tokens. Does not stack.
So if we go back up to B,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of explained a little more in regards to if the totem is snuffed, you still keep your tokens.
Yeah, that is a question that I think needs
I mean,
answering.
I think that's good to have in there.
It doesn't mention that on D. It just says you keep your.
Yeah, all of them kind of mention
Stuff.
they don't stack and you don't lose.
But then why don't you lose it? I don't know if you need to know that, but hey, you never know.
We're getting
Well,
really
because
technical in the imaginary perk, but
yeah, well, you don't lose it because even if it gets snuffed, you're still going to keep your tokens.
Yeah.
Which I think is good to let somebody know because there are boons where if it's snuffed, you don't have the effect anymore and you can't use it
yeah,
until you put it back up.
B is the only one that mentions it about the snuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I
that
mean,
you can only be affected by 1 instant at a safe haven
Oh,
at a
yeah.
time. I do feel like the top is a little more wordy. Like I kind of wish like we still had the disclaimer for the snuffing and the effects, but maybe have one of the more condensed versions of the top part.
sorry, I didn't mean to giggle when you said
Yeah,
snuffing.
like
It made me
inside the
laugh.
boon totem's radius.
Yeah.
Like something short like this, but then we need the other information. So, hang on. I think we're just kind of putting them in our. So please rank the following description formats from the easiest to read to the most difficult.
But see, like, I feel like they're all easy to read. There's just some I want more information.
I feel
Yeah.
like B needs to go,
To top.
maybe.
I think B is easiest.
Because
I mean,
mean,
B is pretty straightforward
it's
too.
the
Like,
longest, but it has all the information because I feel like the other ones don't have enough information.
And also being technical writers, by easiest to read, do they mean easiest to understand? Not
See,
understand, but do they mean like easiest as in straightforward information or less to read?
see,
See,
that's what I was thinking
Or as
too.
easiest as easier to understand the perk?
see, I would go with understanding because then you don't
Yeah.
want people being like, well, can you do this with this perk? You know, with
Yeah.
this boon, like what happens when it's snapped? Well, all the other definitions
Don't have it there.
don't have it.
Okay. So if we go with easiest to understand the perk, I would go with B.
Yeah, I feel like it is a little wordy. Like they could maybe combine the
Yeah.
top. Like I can't remember if it was morbid or you just said like kind of
Combine
put
the top of
the
it.
top.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
okay, C has the same first part, but it doesn't have the snuffed or the.
Well, interesting thing about C is so B has all survivors benefit from the following effect. C just has survivors, which I think you understand that as survivors it's a whole.
Yeah,
So if there's
and
more than
how
one
boons
survivor in
work.
there, yeah. So I like that it still has that part, but they took out a lot of the wordiness.
Yeah, I think they're trying to be less wordy, but you can make B less wordy too.
Mm-hmm.
So what
And
do we
still
want?
keeping the little disclaimers.
Maybe C is next. Okay, C's already down there. And then we have D and A, which is they're both short. Inside the bin.
Yeah.
Well,
D is just like
D
straightforward
has
and like
it has
here,
the least
this
amount
is-
of information though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, here's A again. So inside the bin times radius when a survivor is injured by basic attack. I would say A and then D.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like D, like I understand D, but I'm also trying to think also about new players coming into the game. And if they don't that and no one's running boons anymore. Let's just be honest. Like
Not after they killed my boon.
I will say
No.
facts. After the death of our favorite boon.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
We don't even see
I would agree.
exponential.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people are running Dark Theory now for the speed build with made for this.
That
but...
was it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
that was
nice.
it.
Yeah,
Damn,
that
okay,
was
that was
it.
fast.
GG guys. We're so good at
Yeah.
surveys.
But see, I think they should have clarified. Like, is this easy to understand, or just like if you're reading it, do you get confused?
That's our technical writer brains working.
Yeah, so that just kind
We've
of
all
makes
had
it.
to write stuff for like training to teach people how to do things.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's knowing your audience. So it would have been nice to have clarification, behavior, especially for those that do work in some type of technical field and that's their job, right? To
Yeah.
understand if you're talking about understanding the perk, which is what we assumed, or just easily reading something in condensed format.
Because I understand
You
that
can read
wanting.
something and you can read something and not understand it at all, mechanically speaking.
Mhm.
Okay.
Look at us. We should write for behavior,
We're available as long as we can do remote work. We're here.
right? Freelance.
Yeah. As long as we can come out with a chapter, 3 survivors, and
Yes.
a killer, and a map.
We're looking forward to not Jake apparently.
Oh God, I do.
And whoever's soul person is.
Oh, and
I want
Roland Collins.
I want the snail. Well,
Oh, this
sounds like
Oh my god.
OP
sounds like a
killer.
great killer.
Would it leave a trail? Oh my god,
And then
kind
you
of
get
like
stuck in the slime.
you get stuck in it. That'd be so great.
And you can throw salt at him, and he gets all like, "Ew."
Interactive map, you can leave salt traps.
There you go.
See, we have ideas, behavior. Hit us up.
And their quality.
Yes. You got big imaginations.
Yeah, you thought these examples were just to be funny, but we can make it happen.
No,
right?
Yeah, we can. All right. Is that all we
Okay.
have?
Yeah, that's everything. This was a longer
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
But
Hey, there was
It's
a
an
lot.
episode.
Okay.
we've done a lot.
Yeah.
We
Just wanted to talk about a lot.
I know.
This is a good road trip podcast episode
Yeah.
that you're
Mhm.
now hearing at the end, but it's fine.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they could change anything with Alien. I don't think they will.
No, I think they'll wait to
I
see how it plays out.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
so yeah. Well, that
Alright.
is episode 8. Yay!
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 Look at us. We're almost at 10,
Oh, I know. Are we
so
gonna what
excited.
party are we throwing for 10?
right? We got to find out what the anniversary
Mm.
gift is.
I know. I don't
We
know.
gotta figure out something cool. And we're
Yeah.
gonna do a rating of all of Michaela's outfits.
Oh, there we go.
Tier list.
Because guess who has them all?
Yeah, Queen's
I
gonna
don't know
take
what
point
you're talking
on
about.
that.
Elodie's been coming out with fire outfits. I just
Oh,
got
yeah.
hers, so I'm
That
glad
is
that they're
true.
showing love to some other characters, but I do love my Michaela.
Yeah.
I guess we can close out.
Yep. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
So, like
Yep.
we say, have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us, and bye.
Bye.
Bye.